Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the dinner dater herself, Sandy Reevy.
I go on dinner dates only.
It is episode 290, February 12th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, February 13th, Tuesday, Mars ingress Aquarius.
Out of exaltation.
Same day, Venus sextile Neptune.
Romantic plans.
Sandy's conflict day, February 14th, also Valentine's Day, Mars conjunct Pluto.
At 0 Aquarius. Start ignition.
February 16th, Friday, Venus ingress Aquarius.
Your weirdest friend.
And Mercury square Uranus.
Plan, no plan.
February 17th, Saturday, Venus conjunct Pluto.
0 Aquarius. Claim only you.
February 18th, Sunday, Sun ingress Pisces.
Calm and peace, I trust.
Then in Talisman times, we have a ton to share with you, as well as on the horizon, the daytime retreat happening this week, Hey House I Can Do It show in Phoenix, Arizona, and more. And in our house, Sandy and I are off to our matriarch's 92nd birthday. Happy birthday, Mimi. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of
Hello, dinner dater.
Well, that's the only time I'm free.
Right? We had a dinner date. You had another dinner date with your friend that you haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, my brother, my sister-in-law. It's been festive.
Yeah. Catching up with
Even if
everybody.
I'm making the dinners.
Right. So, all right, everybody. It is episode 290, February 12th. Let's get right into it with going direct. So, I have a message from an alias boy mom. And she says...
An alias boy mom.
Alias.
Okay.
Her alias is boy mom.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say alien.
No, but I was like, I didn't quite understand that.
Okay. 5 stars. This natal reading was for my 12-year-old son. Sandy was spot on. So many things that we knew and felt about our son, but it was so refreshing to get confirmation from the universe. Sandy took her time in explaining and making sure he understood what she was talking about. She asked him questions also. It was very, quote unquote, a cool experience for him. It's something that we will be able to look back on as he gets older. Can't wait for the next one. Boy, mom.
Now I get it. Yes. I did both of her kids.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way to see their weaknesses and strengths and what you could, support.
Right.
So.
And to see the wholesomeness of someone, and not necessarily what you're trying to mold them into.
It's true. And now it's interesting that this is being said right now because we're oddly and successfully, I've just got another mom who wants me to do her 2 sons. So there's that theme again of, hey, take a look at, your kids or your grandkids.
Their
charts.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. In the transits, we have a big week coming up. And we start the week off astrologically with February 13th, Tuesday, Mars ingress Aquarius.
Yeah, out of exaltation. This starts the day right at practically 5 minutes after midnight. This is Mardi Gras day. And, we go into, Mars was in Capricorn, very exalted there in the earth sign, and now moves into the air sign. So it's kind of like out of exaltation and into the blowing breeze, right? How's it blowing for you, right? Because it does have some action. Find a just cause and prepare to fight for it, even if you have to use your wind and speak loud. Watch the unpredictable anger to action, right? So we'll see if that somebody's not listening. Things can get a little bit up. Mars here is lost because he has no dignity, and he just came from the highest place that he could be. So it's really a loss of strength for Mars, and it's in a Saturn sign. So Saturn becomes a little bit more strong. However, I'm going to say that within that same time period, Saturn goes into hiding, and Saturn becomes weak because Saturn ends up being an evening set. So when the sun comes up, Saturn goes down.
Okay.
So he's also a little bit more, a little bit weakened. But you know, it's a new thoughts coming in, progressive movement.
Yes. Same day, February 13th, Tuesday, Venus sextile Neptune.
This is romantic plans. This is with reception. It's imagination, dreamy. Is it in your head, or is it out in the world? Your imagination that's dreamy. You know, your knight in shining armor, right? Swinging it by. Versus, are you taking an action for experience? So are you in the imagination dreaming, like it's all in your head, or are you taking the action for experience so that it's out in the world? You're doing something.
And that always reminds me of those like reality TV shows about love and relationships, because I feel like half the time they're just playing the role and they're imagining it's all in their head. And then when like reality hits, that's when they like have to realize like, oh, I have to be actively working on this relationship and really conscientious of the things that I'm doing, and it's not just all done for me and the dates are planned and this
the fantasy,
and that. Right, right.
Like you have to get back to work, and
right.
They may snore, but kind of that. Celebrate your Valentine's Day on Tuesday the 13th.
It could be a Mardi Gras themed Valentine's Day.
I like that day for your sweethearts, because on Wednesday, the day of Valentine's, is my conflict day of the month. So, you know, we don't want conflict at the Valentine's Day table. Although I do remember one of your Valentine's dates.
Oh my gosh, we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, so let's move on to the conflict day. February 14th, Valentine's Day, Wednesday, Mars conjunct Pluto.
This hits that 0 degrees of Aquarius. This is that hot point in the chart right now. And this is about starting the ignition. But don't be afraid. This isn't like the movies where the car blows up. However, ... important to consider what does need blowing up in order to start fresh again.
And that's true,
Which
too.
sounds like Griselda, the Netflix show that's on right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, but getting back to this astrology, it's like, what does need to be blown up so that you can start at the ground level again? Yeah. And this could be about, you know, this is Valentine's Day. So it's kind of like, is there a break? Is there a...
There also, like, and this is kind of interesting, the Mars conjunct Pluto could also be like a lot of like sexual tension too. No?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's in Aquarius. That's very odd. That could be in public.
Oh. Kinky stuff, apparently. All right. Well, okay. So the Mars conjunct Pluto, explain a little bit more what's going on.
Well, this is like the underworld. So it's kind of like the what's coming up from underneath the surface or the skin. So Mars is like poking the bear, right? Like, come on, come out. And then all of a sudden it might show up like a big bomb. Again, starting ignition. Mars is doing a little bit of
pushing the ignition button.
Yeah.
Since there's no keys hardly anymore.
Yeah. So, you know, and some things come up. Some things will show up on the surface. They will erupt, possibly because we got Mars not in a strong, knows how to direct this energy.
Well, the short story to your comment about my Valentine's Day has a lot to do with what needs to break down in order to start fresh, which was a high school Valentine of mine. I was so excited. It was my first Valentine's Day being in a relationship. And I kind of asked like, oh, well, what do I need to wear? Well, whatever you want. is it fancy? Is it like trendy? What kind of outfit? No, just like jeans and a shirt is fine. Like, where are we going? White Castle. They have Valentine's Day special, like the slider special where they have like white tablecloths on the tables in the fast food restaurant, and they have candlelight and everything like that. And I'm like, that sounds like the worst Valentine's Day ever. And then I broke up with him. So that was to start fresh.
He was showing true colors.
Yeah. Bye. So, yeah.
Yeah, except we remember him. Well, we remember the story that created the experience you had.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so let's move on to February 16th, Friday. We have 2 transits. The first, Venus joins the party of Aquarius.
At the 0 degrees of Aquarius. And this is about your weirdest friend, right? Go ahead and spend some time with them this month. Venus is connections, and Aquarius is your unique humans. So get to know what you may not know. Right? By going out with your, strangest, oddest, uniquest, weirdest individuals that are your friends somehow. I have many of them, one specific one, that, hey, they know things you don't know. That's what makes them kind of oddly interesting. So this is the 3 weeks that Venus goes into the sign. So that's what you should do. Connect to learn new things.
Have a friend date with your weirdest friend. All right. So later in the day, Mercury square Uranus.
Plan, no plan. Right? This is Mercury going, okay, let's get the details. Let's get something together. Let's organize something. And then squares Uranus. And it's like, oh, I was going to plan that, but now we're not. Now we're going to do this, and then we're not, and then we're going to do. It's like, this is where I believe that Mercury becomes the trickster. So watch him or her in action, this and that. Not that, but this. How about a little bit of that and some of that? How about this? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this.
So a lot of change of courses.
Oh, man, right? It's kind of like, So whether we think
the
that
one plan is there are no plans.
Yeah, and kind of going with the flow. That is the definite way to handle this energy. Again, it's Friday the 16th when you should be going out with your weirdo friends. This conversation is all over the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
So February 17th, Saturday, Venus conjunct Pluto.
0.
Again, joining the Aquarius party.
Oh my gosh, coming in out at that hot spot 0. Claim only you. So this is Venus. Venus about, the goddess of love, art, beauty, finances, what you buy with your money. When Venus gets to 7 degrees to 13 degrees in the sign, she's not there yet because she's just moved in at 0. This is about the feminine subject matter arrives. But really, claim only for you, not for someone else. That's called possession. Watch for obsessive behaviors here. So therefore, make a committed promise that you are able to stick to. This is not some pulling up from your bootstraps to say, yeah, I think I can do that. You want to have set expectations, and use clarifying questions if you need to. But anybody that just puts their fingernails in you here to manipulate you is called possession. That's obsessive behavior.
Yeah. And two, what also like Venus conjunct Pluto kind of reminds me of too, is that Venus is all about value and our worth. And Pluto is about kind of that transformative power. And if we can really combine those two and not be manipulated because maybe somebody is making us feel less worthy and we need to do something in order to be valuable, just know innately that you are valuable and that does not define you, whether or not you're worthy or valuable or anything like that. So yeah, claim only you, and that is enough.
But I want to add to that when you said that. That was a good analogy because it's like claim only you and blame no one else. So
I like that.
Right? You can only claim only you, but blame only you.
Oh, right. Totally. That is a fortune cookie right there. That is a bumper sticker. That's a magnet you hang on your refrigerator. Because really, you know, it's accountability and it's self-reflection
And
too.
besides, you're the only one that can be you. So go ahead and be our authentic self because you're not to be like others. So again, this whole theme of this week. There's so much Aquarius energy coming in. There's that Uranus coming in. We got the personal planets, Venus and Mercury here. We've got the sun coming in here in a minute. We're going to talk about, and we got Mars making some aspects, which is, you know, which strikes the match possibly. Right. So it's a big week. It's a big week.
So we'll finish it with February 18th, Sunday, Sun ingress Pisces.
This is at night. We'll be asleep. So hopefully everybody gets calm and peaceful. And maybe this would be a good initial night to ask your dream weavers of the Pisces fabric to weave you a beautiful story, fantastical story. Because really here I call this calm and peace, I trust.
Yeah. And also happy birthday to all the Pisces out there. Woohoo! We're going to be celebrating soon. So, what a week. It's going to be interesting. So definitely be yourself and hang out with some weird friends. All right. So let's move into talisman times. You have been so busy.
It's really crazy.
And you have, 3 finished talismans. We'll go over them briefly. If anyone has any questions or wants to dive a little bit deeper, you can just head over to the website intentionbeads.com, hit the chat link, and you'll speak with one of us. So the first is Tuesday, February 6th, to access spiritual wisdom.
I understand this detailed information. This makes sense to me now. I grasp the whole of it. So we won't get into all the aspects. You can see the chart on the website.
Yes. These next 2 have been sold, but to gather the harvest of abundance.
My growth increases. The bounty arrives in perfect time. Success and riches surround me. I have completed the work. Yeah,
the bounty.
This one's sold.
The next one is also sold, to possess protection.
My courageous spirit protects me in all situations at all times. I gracefully demand secure and peaceful energies. Yeah, when I was on the retreat in Mexico for Mercury, we were sitting around the table, and I think I mentioned this on podcast, or did I say this somewhere else, where it was like everybody needs a protection bracelet.
Right.
I had mine on, particularly when I travel. And so when I got back and realized, oh my gosh, Mars is in Capricorn, it's a great opportunity for me to have Mars be our protector in his exaltation place. So I was able to find a lot of times while Mars was in, and there's still, I think there's still one upcoming that I think actually just sold today though. So those protection ones are going fast, and Mars won't go into Capricorn for another 2 years.
Right.
But I will be able to use some other lunar mansions and some fixed stars to get some protection. And
also, if somebody's looking for something very specific like that, there's also the option of a personal talisman. And it can be matched directly with your chart. That is incredibly, hugely focused solely on you and your path and all the above. Thursday, February 8th, to retreat for higher study.
I create a space to absorb abundant teachings, whether overseas, in my own town, or in my sacred mind. I learn effectively. Yeah. This is Moon making an aspect to Mercury. So we have Thursday, February 8th, I did to retreat for higher study. I create a space to absorb abundant teachings, whether overseas, in my own town, or in my sacred mind. I learn effectively.
Right.
Yeah, this was Moon making that conjunction to Mercury in Aquarius. Right. So again, and in the 9th house.
Right, and I did that. I retreated for some higher study with my yoga teacher training, and that is exactly why I wanted to retreat instead of trying to do something online or where I went in maybe like once a quarter. to create the space to really absorb and get into it. And I feel like I did learn effectively.
You really did.
It was great. So let's move on to the next talisman of this week. Sunday, February 11th, to gain personal income from investment.
The time has come to collect the finances I have been patiently growing. I accept this money gladly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is, the moon is enclosed by the benefics and Saturn's in the second house.
Yes. Let's see. What is next? Sunday, February 11th, to gather a group in my neighborhood.
My neighbors are interesting people. We assemble for fun, for engaging subjects, and for community interests. We round up.
Mm-hmm. And
again, this is that moon being in between both of the getting aspected with a enclosure of the moon.
Benefics.
Yeah, and it's not always that we get a Jupiter making a sextile to Saturn. These are the two planets that are superiors. And, Saturn takes a 29-year, 30-year circle around, and Jupiter's a 12-year cycle around. And so when they came together at that zero mark of Aquarius a couple years ago, now they're in a sextile. They're in that first opening 60 degrees. So if anyone could grab one of these talismans that I'm just talking about this week, that has that energy. So it's Jupiter, it's growth with a solid structure. Even though I'm focusing more on the specific moon and the quicker moving planets and where they are, but all of these this week hold that Jupiter Saturn in a sextile that says I'm taking the opportunity to grow what I can grow, instead of like I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah. It's like I grow what I can establish.
Right.
Because the next aspect that they get in about a year, when Jupiter goes to Gemini, will be the square, and this will be a bit tougher.
Okay.
So grab these this week if they're not sold already, which some of them are. So.
Right. And speaking of, the next finished talisman is Sunday, February 11th, to be secure and safe.
This one did sell, yeah. I am guarded as my spirit is elevated, as if I'm in a protected fortress, and I am queen. I personally adore this feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like a queen in her fortress, in her castle.
And she is feeling so secure and safe.
Right. And
this is another protection talisman.
Right.
Yep.
We're going to skip the upcoming talismans just because that was a whole lot of talisman action. And don't forget the talisman of the month for February, to engage and agree with authority figures. I see you on an equal playing field. We admit we are each human and have concerns around this subject. We have the same opinion and work toward it in unison. We are linked up. Let's move on to the horizon, where you have a daytime retreat here in the U.S., February 24th. That is all going to be about intention and inspired action on the full moon. And you and two other teachers, spiritual teachers, are coming together for an event in Union Pier, Michigan, which is only a drive away from Chicago.
It's literally an hour and 15 minutes from my house, which I'm north of the city of Chicago. But we did this in the fall of last year and had just a wonderful turnout. It's a small group. It's like 8 of us. And we have all day together in this beautiful home. It's still going to be probably kind of cold. We at least got outside for a fall fire pit, but I doubt we'll get out there for that. But we might go brisk walking.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Right. So March 23rd through the 25th, we are going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. That is for the Hay House I Can Do It show. We've talked about it a lot here on the podcast, but of course it is an amazing community, amazing speakers, and we are going to be there. So we would love to see you.
Please
click the link
on.
in the description and grab your ticket. Don't forget about the Greece retreat. We only have one spot left, so definitely make some action if you were planning on heading to Greece this year, as well as our Egypt retreat is up, and all the descriptions with the daily itineraries and the photos and everything.
Each day's itinerary and what
we don't normally talk about or
it's been
share that.
It's been arranged for us, and when I finally approved all of the things that we were doing, our guide put it together like that, and I was like, let's just share it with everybody, all the things that we're going to do.
Right, because normally we're all in like one location, or at least we are just touring around a certain kind of like home base. But this is going from different cities. This is going from land to sea, or maybe not sea, river. The Nile to be exact, and also desert. So like going from like kind of a more paradise type of oasis to desert. So this is going to be super cool.
It's 10 days and it's action packed. And the first price point, which is the lowest price point, is still good until March 1st. So only a few more weeks. We need a deposit. This is how this one's working, a little bit different than my other retreats. We need the deposit because then I pay, I take care of your room and all those locations right away.
Right.
And it's like one is one, but every couple months the price goes up. Not because I choose. Right. Because they just do.
Yeah. And so let's move into our house. We are off to our matriarch's 92nd birthday. Happy birthday, Mimi.
Mom, Delma LaRue Lewis Langenbrunner. What?
It's a beautiful name.
Yeah, it's her 92nd birthday. She's a 21-degree Aquarius sun, and she is an Aquarius.
She's
done
so
things,
unique, and she loves being herself.
Yeah, really cool. The older I get, the more that is interesting to me to watch her be that Aquarian. Now that I'm, I know a little bit about Aquarius. I didn't know about that when I was younger, and I thought all moms should be like that. My mom was different, but great.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna go down. We celebrated last weekend a little bit at a mass, and it was funny because my sister calls the church and asks for a birthday mention during and when my mom heard that, she was like, "No, seriously, don't do that. No, people are going to hear my name at church and think that I died." And that this is we pray for the sick and those that just recently died, Del Langenbrunner. And she goes, but I said, Mom, all you have to do is stand up and go, "I'm over here.
I'm right here.
I'm right here.
I'm alive."
So anyway, she kind of got over that for a little bit. Then we're walking out of church, and she looks at and hands me the page of the bulletin and goes, "And who put my birth date there? Who, not my birthday, but my age." And I go, "Well, I'm guessing it's the other sister or your other daughter that arranged all of that." She goes, "I don't want people to know I'm 92. We turn around and a lady goes, "Man, I had no idea you were that old. You look fabulous." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, please shush." And my mom's like, "Well, so I think she kind of liked it.
Right. Secretly, she liked it.
But it's like, oh my gosh, don't say her name in church because people will think, yeah, I heard she fell. Did she die? Oh my God, man. Right? So that was hilarious. So then we went out to brunch, and that was fun. And now coming up this weekend is going to be another slew of people that can make it in. Like you can make it in. Yeah. And we're going to have
so excited.
Party on Saturday with games. We're playing lots of games. And
she's a card player, so it's going to be...
No, we're going to play Ditto Ditto, and we're going to play Party Bowl.
Party Bowl is a classic.
Oh, and I'm
new to Ditto Ditto, so we're gonna see how that works.
Right? Did you see why I brought Party Bowl to our Mexico retreat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I got a picture the other day from one of the ladies going, "Now that I know how to play, I had to buy it." Did you see that?
It's so good.
Yeah.
You don't even have to buy it. It's technically like all you need is a salad bowl or a bowl, and cut up pieces of paper and pens. That's literally all you need for this game, but it's so much fun. Maybe I can throw the game rules in the description just in case anyone is interested in playing.
Or just put in the code for buying a bowl. Because what does help?
It's free. You don't even have to.
Well, I know, but those question or those topic cards that you pass out are helpful.
Well, they're just prompts.
They're prompts.
Yeah, but what you could also do, well, now that we're here, why don't we just describe what the rules are?
We've got a lot to talk about.
So, in a nutshell, Party Bowl, you can play with 3 rounds. And you have a big bowl. Everyone gets a certain amount of cut up pieces of paper.
You're on 2 teams.
Everyone gets, let's just say, 5 small little pieces of paper. The first team gets to go first.
Okay.
And
is that part of the rules?
Yeah, that's part of the rules. and so you can go one of 2 ways. If you buy the Party Bowl game, you have these little cards that prompt you. And so for everyone's first piece of paper, it could be name a type of car or an animal or some famous person. But for the free version, if you want to play my free version, you just write a bunch of random things down. And it can be whatever it is.
Right.
Just no kind of proper names. No the person sitting right next to you, because that's a little bit tougher. But everyone folds up those cards. They throw them in the salad bowl, in the Party Bowl. Then it's the first team's turn. One person gets selected to be the explainer. It's kind of like the first round. It's just as many words as you need to describe what this one word is. It's kind of like taboo. You just don't say any of the words on the piece of paper.
And there's a timer. So
there's a timer.
As you pull this from the bowl and read the word and then do a description and then you put it down, you get one.
Right.
And so you get 7 versus your team getting 5, other team getting 5.
However many that they correctly guess in that amount of time.
And so you add all that up and then all those pieces of paper go back into the bowl. Yeah, they do. They go back into the bowl. And then it goes around again, and you only could use one word to describe this word that's on the piece of paper. But we just heard it in the last round.
Oh, right. Okay, but before round 1 is over, you have to go to the next team.
Oh, yeah, you take
turns. You alternate between teams until the entire Party Bowl is empty.
Right.
Once the empty bowl is done, then you collect all those pieces of paper again, you put them into the bowl, and now it's round 2. This round 2, you only get to say 1 word per card. So maybe if my word was bathroom, my first round I would say, well, this is the place that you go when you really, really need to pee, And then the round 2, I would say toilet. Right. And then somebody would have to remember bathroom was the word. So they would pick that. The third round.
How do you do this one?
The third round, nobody's going to know, because the third round is you have to act it out. No words. Yeah. No words whatsoever.
So
just
how would you do
charades.
Bathroom? Come on, show me how to do it. Oh, you're making a squatty face? A squatty potty face?
Yeah.
I didn't see you take off your pants. I didn't see you sit
gosh,
down.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to do that.
Well, that's how I would do it. And people immediately know what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
This game got weird.
You said bathroom. Why did you pick bathroom? You could have picked candle.
I could have picked candle, but I picked
I'm
bathroom.
Looking at a candle. You're looking at the bathroom.
Maybe I have to. That's precisely why we picked it. But yeah,
it's fun. See how fun it is.
Yeah,
you're just
don't do her version of pulling the pants down, because that does not make it family friendly. But anyway, it's a really family friendly game.
Fun. It's fun.
We absolutely love it. So since we probably just butchered all those Party Bowl rules, just go ahead and Google Party Bowl rules.
Just buy it. It's $5, $10. I don't know, but it's worth it.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for our crazy shenanigans and listening into this podcast. We will talk to you all next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the